true faith, you are following what the Word of God says all throughout the Bible. The commandments were given to Moses because the children of Abraham, Jacob, and Israel had ended up forgetting the commandments. That's why the commandments were given to Moses to give to the Israelites, leading them out of the desert. Praise the Most High. He's the Most High. He's the best. And they were to keep these commandments because it gives them life. It literally says that in the Bible. David said, I have followed your law and it has saved me. He literally has a whole Psalms concerning the law, if not more. So it's a very important thing to be obedient to the law of the Father. Now, the Father gave us all these resources to heal. He told us to fast. He said, pray. He said, meditate on his word and his law day and night. These kinds of things. Christians end up getting these diseases and they go to doctors before they go to the Father. So I'm having this conversation with this lady in HEB, and she's talking about her friend has, oh my gosh, has breast cancer, and she's had her breast removed, and she's, I don't know if she said she was undergoing radiation, but it's no coincidence to me that we ended up talking to one another, because the simple fact is she was in my space, and I wanted to be like, lady, can you please get out of my space? And then she had said something to me. So the reason why she was in my space in the first place was because the Father wanted us to speak. So I need to humble myself, but also I just started talking about my testimony concerning cancer, and then she started bringing up her husband that had it, and her husband died, and then she brought up her friend, and I'm like, nothing's too big for the Father to do. The thing is, when these people speak, they're like, oh, she or he has faith, but then he did chemotherapy. She or he has faith, but then she keeps going to these doctors. She or he has faith, but then they had this cut off and this removed, so the cancer would go away. She or he has faith, but this. You're partaking in things of the world, and this is particularly why you are not healing from anything, because you're putting your trust actually in the world while saying that Christ died on the cross for you. That's not enough. You literally have to follow what he says. When I asked the Father, because I saw in the Bible, I was a new Christian, I saw in the Bible that he is the healer, I trusted what that said. And that's what led me to ask the Father, well, what do I do to heal? And that's when he told me what to do to heal. And that's when I healed, when I did what he said. He had told Abraham, go sacrifice your son. Abraham had so much faith in the Father, and he went to go sacrifice his son. And then the Father's like, no, don't sacrifice your son. I'm going to give you something that is going to save humanity. But Abraham had that faith to do what he said, didn't he? God didn't tell him go see a doctor that's going to save humanity. No. He said, do this, and I will provide for you. He told me, do this. I'm going to heal you. He healed me. So, understand what true faith is. It is not knowing that Jesus died on the cross for you. It's not searching the scriptures because in them you believe you have life and you refuse to come to him so that you may have life. It's not saying, it's not going out and preaching and teaching to all the captives and that kind of stuff, which, that's not a bad thing. And it could actually end up saving you if you're really hearing from the Most High, because that's what I was doing in the beginning. But I was doing it while listening to the Father and doing what he says. It wasn't just like, I'm going to move here. I'm going to, it wasn't robotic. I literally was listening to the Father and going where he told me to go. So people end up bringing all these regimen and advices from all these doctors and even all these naturopaths. Ask the Father what he wants. If you want to heal, if you want a husband, for anything, he said, ask and ye shall receive. Do not get caught up in the things of the faith that the church teaches, their church doctrines and this kinds of things, because that's also what's going to stop you from being healed. People in the church, especially if they're these types of people that have been to universities and all this kind of stuff, many of them end up taking on that spirit of the Pharisees, the spirit of hypocrisy, because while they're teaching all the right doctrines and all that kind of stuff, they're not doing it themselves. And then they're teaching commandments of men as if they're precepts of God. And people listening to these traditions and these commandments of men end up putting that first. And so they don't put God's commands and his traditions first. And then they can find no healing because they're not being obedient to God. So we need to learn what faith is. We need to trust what the word says in the Bible. We need to go to the Father and ask. We need to pray. We need to fast. We need to meditate on the word day and night. And then maybe we will start to see some change in our lives. So you guys be blessed and have a good one. Bye.